just wanted to give a quick update on the World Junior to everyone and uh, talk about our team. If you have any questions as we head into the second half of the season, obviously the World Junior for the St. Louis Blues organization went very well. We had 9 players participate in the tournament. Medals won by the Americans and the Czech players, which was great to see. I think we led. I know we led the team in overall scoring for NHL organization for the second year in a row. Um, our players played very well. Stance was a leading goal scorer in the event, so a lot of positives coming out from players that played in their second or third World Junior, and players from last year's draft that got a taste of it this year too. So a great event, and excited for players, and I think they're really excited for the second half of the season. This tournament put them in a really good frame of mind moving forward. So I was in there for the quarterfinals, semifinals, and the medal games. So we got an opportunity to see our guys play lots of hockey. Everyone made that tournament except the 2 Slovakian players. So we had 7 guys playing in the medal round, which was great to see. So I can just answer any questions you might have on that, or as we enter into the second half of our NHL season.
Yeah, Doug, it's Matt. Just with Stancil, not one of the more higher profile guys. What stood out to you about the way that he played in this tournament?
I'd say his release was dynamic at this event, and I think getting an opportunity to play in the Western Hockey League against this level of competition instead of men was good for him. I think he felt very comfortable coming into the event, and he looked like a power forward that was relied upon by his team to produce offense and play an important role. And it was great to see for him. And I think it just sets him up really great to go back to the Western League and have a strong finish before turning pro. But I would just say his overall game, but his size and power and his release was very evident in this event.
Doug, it's Lou. Has his scoring in the Western and even what you've seen in the World Juniors, has that even exceeded expectations of what maybe you guys have had for him?
I think this year, getting against his peer group, we saw some of that in the Western League. But I think this event was obviously great for him. It really started last year when he knocked Canada out in the quarterfinals, and then added to it this year. So we just think he's he's uh, at expectations or maybe exceeded expectations, but he's raised the bar now on what we expect from him, Lou, moving forward too, which is a real positive thing.
Doug, I was going to ask something similar. You guys always talk about doing it against their peers. The fact that he's doing it on this stage and he's had big moments in both tournaments, what does that show you guys in terms of future projection?
Yeah, Jerry, you like to see how guys perform when the lights are the brightest. And for the junior players, this is it. It doesn't get any bigger than the World Junior Championship. And for our guys to play well and to show well and to be counted on by their countries is very important for us. And it's great to see the guys that, as we talk about, it's showtime and what guys rise up to the top of that. And we're very fortunate for a couple of years to have a lot of players do that.
Doug, this is Derek with the Post Dispatch here for Matt in Minnesota. Wondering just what your thoughts were on how Dvorský played and what's kind of some of the next steps for him as he returns to the AHL.
Yeah, his team got knocked out in the quarterfinals. I thought he was a dominant player the first period. We were talking about it. He right off the opening faceoff, he came to play, cross-checked a guy sort of in the small of the back to let him know he was there, and then he probably had 5 or 6 really good scoring opportunities. Unfortunately, he had a great shift and down 1-0, comes back, has another great shift down 2-0. The puck, they just played a very good team, and then they pushed back in that game. But he, almost a couple of points a game for him, which was good to see. I think going there and having a big leadership role in his team is helpful, and I think he's looking forward now to getting back into the American League and continuing to grow there. And as a 19-year-old in this event, he did very well, but also as a 19-year-old in the American League, he's doing exceptional. And we're excited that he's over here now, and we see a bright future for him, whether it's this year or where he's going to push to make our team. A lot of that, quite honestly, have to do with how we play here. when you looked at last year, when it looked like we weren't going to push for a playoff spot, we were able to bring younger players in and give them an opportunity. We have to get on a little bit of a roll here to make sure that story doesn't repeat itself.
I wondered if I may ask a follow-up about that, because just down the street is the captain of the Gophers team, and just how you might see your forward lines evolve there towards the end. It sounds like performance could be a big part in that, but could you see these young guys also contribute?
Yeah, well, we actually, Jim and I and Alex had dinner with Snuggerud last night and had a good conversation. He's hoping to. I told him, the ultimate end of the season would be to pack a big suitcase when he comes to St. Louis for the Final Four, win that, and then come to us. But I'm hoping he plays into the Final Four and wins the national championship. And one of the things we left him with was, keep your head where your feet are. And right now his feet are at the Gophers, and we want his head to stay there, and the rest will take care of itself. But he's having an exceptional year. He went back with the purpose of having an exceptional year. He tells us what he's working on in his game, and also off the ice. He has a leadership role there as a 20-year-old. That's very important for his growth. So he's having a really good year, and he's excited about the push here that they have. I think he said that they have 16 regular season games left, and he wants to maximize those, and then obviously win a national championship. But I do see there's an opportunity for these guys to push onto our team in the near future, whether it's at the end of this year or have a massively competitive training camp next year.
Thank you.
Okay.
Doug, along those lines, maybe some disappointment when Snuggerud decides to stay, but you've been in this business long enough. You roll with the punches and make the best of them. Do you feel like that's happened here? Like, him coming back and working on some things could have been a great thing for him and the organization?
Yeah, and we talked about that. We obviously made a push to get him to come in, and he was honest. He felt that he could grow there on and off the ice, and we weren't sure what type of team they were going to have this year, and not that we didn't. We just college hockey it changes, but he thought they were going to have a really good team, and he thought he could be a big part of that, and he was right. And I said that to him yesterday, like what you projected was right. You're on a very good team, and you're an important player on it. Now it's to maximize that, and he is getting better, and he's learning, and he's doing things. And I'm not sure there would have been a wrong answer if he had to come with us. It would have been fine too. But he's maximizing this year, and I think that's a testament to him, and also the head coach of the Gophers and their program to put him in a great spot on a competitive team.
Doug, what about a guy like Juraj? What did you see from him, and are you happy for him most because of what happened to him there at that level last year, and where do you feel like his progression is at this point?
Yeah, he was getting stronger and stronger as the tournament went along. Like, he hasn't played a lot, quite honestly, in a year. And one of the things that Alex Dean and I talked about, and he pointed out, was his excitement at both ends of the rink. Like, he made a great play on the goal to Jekko on to beat Canada, but he really enjoys defending. He's physical. He likes to break up plays. He finds value in both ends of the rink, which was really something that obviously excites us, because at a certain age, sometimes you just think offense, or you think of the glamour part of the game, and he showed a real desire to impact the 200-foot part of the game. And he was a very good player on a very good team at a very young age.
Hi, Doug. Jacob with Channel 4 here. Throughout the year, I think throughout the season, a lot of fans don't get to watch all these different games from all over the country and all over the world of these guys playing. A lot of eyes are on this tournament because Blues fans get to see these prospects. Are you happy with the representation that these guys showed at this tournament for your organization and your management to be able to show fans, hey, this is what we've been working on? They're not just draft picks. These are the guys we've been working on.
Yeah, it's always like, picks are great, but when they put a name to them, they're even better. And so we've been fortunate or unfortunate, depending how you want to look at it, is to have acquired a lot of picks, trading veteran players over the last couple of years. And the credit goes exclusively to our our amateur staff for finding the right players, and then they share the credit with our development staff on spending time and making these young players better. But yeah, when you get to a tournament like this, you want your fan base to, when you project that you're trying to do something, and then this tournament, I think, puts stock in that we do have a plan, and the plan is in place. And just because they're not in St. Louis right in front of them doesn't mean that there's not real good growth in our organization. And I think, as I said, to lead that tournament 2 years in a row in total points for an NHL organization is great for us. And to see the representation this year and knowing we're going to have solid representation again next year with players, it's positive. And we're looking forward to getting these guys to the NHL and to pro as quick as possible. Our goal is with the Brobergs and the Holloways and the Neighbors, and we have a bunch of guys we want to see be able to grow together. And I think these guys that played in that tournament 2, 3, 4 years ago are looking at these guys, and they see a future that includes them with this next wave of players also, which is exciting.
Hey, Doug, going back to Dvorský for a second, you made the plan pretty clear that you don't want to rush him. And it seems like his ability to kind of settle in there in Springfield and your ability to, not call him up, just because you might want to, is really helped. Can you speak to the benefit there of, the plan that you're allowed him to go down there and get some seasoning like you had hoped for?
Yeah, I just think, you won't, it's all about building a foundation right now at this age. And, there's no question he'd rather be in the NHL. They all would be. I understand that. But what we're trying to do is say, when you get here, we want to have staying power, and you can go up and down. But right now, we don't. He's benefiting from playing a lot of minutes in major situations down there that he wouldn't get here, as we're competing against men and trying to win games at this level. And you saw it, quite honestly, with Jake a year or two ago. As the season progressed, his minutes decreased, and he went down to the American League. It's just the nature of maturing and building that foundation. And you tell the player that you're in it for the marathon, and you understand that they want to sprint. And I get it. I get that he wants to be here. I'm not naive to the fact, but I also respect, and he respects the process too. And it's very important that they know we're doing this for the betterment of their career. And we do have examples of guys that have spent time in the American League that have come up and played very well because they had that foundation.
I asked this of Tim Taylor last week about when we talked to him about Stenberg and Lindstein, developing over in Sweden. What are you hearing about them, and do you feel like they're progressing as they need to be here to get on their path to get to here?
Yeah, that's something that we debate, quite honestly, Lou, a lot. I've really seen a benefit of Dvorský playing in major junior, Stancil playing in major junior. These guys are playing against men, and men in a job in which coaches get hired and fired because of wins and losses, and it's hard for a younger player. And so you see them at this tournament against their peer group, they have a bigger role. I would say that both guys are you have to fight for every inch you get at that age, at 19, in the league that they play in. Their minutes aren't what they would be if they were playing against their peers exclusively. But that's how the Europeans do it, and we accept that. But Otto had a very good tournament, and so did Theo. Theo, I thought last year sort of took the tournament by surprise. This year he wasn't as his game was more subtle, and I think that was a positive. He was a top 4 defenseman that they relied on, that the countries knew what he did last year, and I thought he was very good, just keeping and maintaining a strong two-way game, which I thought showed very well as a maturing player.
Doug, what did you see from Ralph?
That was it. Yeah, I hadn't seen him. Obviously, I didn't go to Shattuck last year. I talked to his family too, and it was interesting because that, if you get into that American program at the 17, 18, you build that friendship and you build that camaraderie, not only on the ice, but the parents and all those other, they travel together for all those events. And he just sort of came in, a late birthday last year's draft, and he did very well. He's a rangy player, an excellent skater, a player that probably, I don't know if they had him penciled in on that team, but going into the summer, but he had a very good program. Did very good at the event in August, and then it's having a very good year. But he looks like a really strong, lanky defender that can kill plays with his stick, and it's an exceptional skater. So he looks like a player that I'm certainly excited about, because I think that's the type of length that we can use on our back end.